It's a time for pick it from China. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video, we are going to take a close look at the Q900. I must say, like, from my friends from China, they have released so many of these freaking handhelds, but this one I can say in particular is quite interesting. It's not like the cheap China crap I've seen before, so this thing has a lot of potential. But this is the only thing that we're going to get in the box. We're going to get ourselves like the Type-C cable. I must say that this is one of the first times I've seen it. Like, they don't use it a lot. Most of the time it's going to be micro USB or an old school mini USB. Then we're going to get the Q900 toilet paper manual mini deluxe edition. And this version will give you some serious paper cuts in your butt. No, just kidding. But we can see like basic explanation. It's not even in English, so it's pointless over here. But let's take a close look at the handheld itself. So the first impression, I do like it. Like the form factor itself. And no, they, in my opinion, don't try to rip off the Nintendo Switch line. They're trying to mimic it in some ways, but not like a one-to-one copy like the X2. This time, I'm hoping we're going to get two speakers over here. We're going to open it up to see what's inside. Then we're going to get the on and off switch. Over here, we can rip out the SD card. They put a quality seal over it or a sticker. And let's see, when is this thing produced? It doesn't say, whatever. Over here we're going to get the input for Type-C, headphone jack out, HDMI out for functionalities, quite interesting, you don't see that often. Then we're going to get the 4 buttons at the top. At the front we're going to get a normal D-pad, 2 analog sticks that are like also, I think they can be found on the freaking Nintendo Switch, A, B, X, Y, select and start. So that's it. The tour of the handheld, but let's turn it on and let's see how does the display look in general. So to begin with the display is 7 inches of fun, but yeah, it's not a great one. You need to put it in a certain angle, otherwise it's almost impossible to watch on it. It's a little bit of a bummer, so it's still a budget product, this Q900. And you can see it with the display. This is one of these things that they like to save some money with production. But let's take a close look at the menu itself, but it's quite interesting. Alright, so the menu itself. The menu, I have seen it before. I have seen it with my mini arcade machine I've reviewed a very long time. The thumbnails, same story like with the other devices. I hate those because if your files get corrupted, you are having a dead link on your desktop or your begin menu screen. Here we're going to get games, music, pretty picture mode. Then we're going to get naughty movies. We can browse through the files. If you want to mess around with it, here you can reach into the SD card and sideload some games if you want to be naughty. Over here we're going to get language settings. Let's see if we have the English set to the normal. Yeah, okay, English normally like that. A weird situation going here with the typo. They fixed it. Theme style. Oh, we're going to get 2 theme styles. Don't know if you can add some more themes to it off screen. You can see like after 30 seconds it goes off, really annoying. A big light. Oh, it's set to 2. Let's put it on 4. Ooh, that is much better. Will not improve the view angle, but it will give a better recording. Key tune. You can change that out too. Oh, this one is really annoying. Let's put it there one. Restore to default settings and the system information. And here we can see that they are using the first firmware. So far I know there is no option for changing out like the firmware or updating it. What you see is what you're going to get. Another option you're going to get is when you're pressing select start in the game, you can make a save slot, or you can choose a save slot and make a quick load, quick save. Over here we're having the controls option, so if you want to mess around, so something has been messed up, you can just change it over there. So in my opinion, that's a very good thing. But no, Expressratio! They messed it up again. Okay, so let's try the analog stick. It plays very nice. So nowadays with these devices, even with the budget series, we can play some PlayStation 1. Take consideration, even then it will run the games. It doesn't say that it's going to have like the perfect performance. But it's just a great addition that we can add your original games to it. So the D-pad does work, but has a major delay. I don't know if this is normal. The analog stick seems to be working just fine. And also the buttons plays very nice. I love it. They're a little bit too tiny for my hands, but they seem to be working. So let's try another PS1 game, and the reason is very simple. I just wanted to double check if everything seems to be working. You can hear like it still stutters. It had quite a minor hiccup in the beginning. I'm always playing Tekken like this. Works way better. It's more like the arcade style. Yeah. They messed up the controls. Absolutely, like they swapped the buttons. That's the reason why I can't do my freaking combo. Okay, so next up I basically started with the PlayStation 1 because that is the most demanding system. Oh, by the way, that's the only, like say, most demanding system this device can play. Don't forget that when a budget device like this, but a budget device like this is that you're still very limited what you can do with it. And especially when you're looking at the emulation part, it's just a nightmare if you ask me, because you cannot swap out emulators, you cannot upgrade the firmware so far, so what you see is what you're going to get. So if everything runs fine, it's okay. Does it run like crap, you just have an issue and you just need to deal with it. And in my opinion, that's always like a little bit of the bummer with these, well, let's say expensive products slash budget, because these things are like in the middle between Embernick and a system that is always going to be messed up is Mega Drive, due of the sound, but it seems we found a system that actually like runs the game pretty good, and it is like a budget product. All the sound effects are here. Yep. So the D-pad itself, I really hate it. I'm just going to be honest with you. The D-pad is awful to play with, too sturdy. I know there's some minor delays. It's really annoying. Ah, I messed up. Come on, give me the rope, give me the rope. I know, no, yeah. Because I want to have my invincible mode. This song is always like being activated when you're going into super mode. I can still remember it, like freaking annoying. But the game seems to be running smooth for 16-bit. Beefcake Man is Beefcake Man is here. Beefcake Man is here. I'm gonna slap you in the face today. Because of the Beefcake Man. Beefcake. Everyone to be Beefcake. Ooh. Say hello to my little friend. Okie dokie. So let's open it up. Let's see what we're going to get in the inside. So I'm having a second doubt if this thing even has like 2 speakers. And the reason why is because it sounds kind of weird, like it sounds like all the audio comes from one freaking side. So I'm curious if this thing has 2 speakers. I would not be surprised if it isn't, but because it's always the same issue with these things. Get the screws out. Alright, so let's open it up very gentle, because these things are like mostly clicked together. The 4 screws you're seeing are just actually like more like a support to keep everything in place, because these things are freaking plastic fantastic. Oh, I can see 2 wires, that's interesting. Alright, so let's open it up, and guess what? There are actually 2 speakers inside. But the reason I find it surprisingly, because most of these, let's say, devices don't have 2 speakers, even they're like having the mold for it. But it sounds kind of weird. Like, I was not very happy with the audio quality itself. But the construction, holy crap, this thing looks kind of weird. And the reasons why. Alright, so when I find this thing really strange, so with the previous model I've reviewed, and I mean not like the Q900, but like the cheap device that have like one gigantic PCB inside, but the construction itself is quite interesting. So first of all, we're going to get a very huge lithium battery in here, in total of 4000 milliamps. I think that will give you like quite a long time to play. Exactly, it's very hard to say in my opinion, but I think it will be like between 4 and maybe 6 hours. Don't pay me on it, by the way. Here at the side we're going to get 2 PCBs, are like specially made for the button configuration. They're all being connected with very nice ribbon cables. They use a lot of electric tape, if I'm saying it correctly, to put everything in position, because here we're going to see like another ribbon cable goes over there. And these things are having the GB2 chipset. Okay, so I must say, like the GB2 chipset, I did look it up. I couldn't find a lot of information about it, but so far I know like these things were quad core, they're saying on the page they were selling. Like basic specs, they're not like really special, but it is powerful enough to run up to PlayStation 1. By the way, there is no way of adding some new games. And I mean with new games, I mean like adding new emulators to the software itself, because it's locked out. Maybe it will boot up like N64. I've seen it before, but it runs like shit. I don't know what kind of emulator you're using. But yeah, this is what you're going to get in the inside. I will not do a further teardown. There's no use, because this is the main board actually. Like you can just see everything from this side. Okay, so but how heavy is this device? This device is almost 330 grams. Yeah, to be honest, like it's 329 grams. It's quite heavy. Giving like a great example, like with the cheap device from China, normally they weigh around 167. Of course, this is it's smaller, but you know, you're getting the idea behind it, that this Q900 is quite heavy. But how about the HDMI functionality? Very simple. It's plug and play. I've seen it with different devices, especially like the cheap ones. You need to do a lot of configuring. And with this, it's just a plug and play solution, and it works like a charm. Okay guys, so what do I think of the Q900? First of all, maybe a little bit nitpicky, but I really hate that they put this weird logo on the front of the bezel. That's one thing that you need to change out. They do it like a lot of times with different devices, but it's just freaking annoying in my opinion. But in overall, when you're looking at this device, it's got a lot of potential, but it's still like budget, cheap, and you're locked out of the system. So adding games is quite difficult, but also if you want to add some emulators, just impossible. I want to thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit the little bell, welcome in the Wicked family. Let me know what you think of this, and it will be great to see you in the next video. And for the people who are wondering, if you remove the screen protector, it doesn't have any effect when it comes to the display itself. Watcha!